So this is data modeling one that we talked about. If you look at this, for example, now, you need to think about like how many different tables do you think they have? For example, I've got retailer. So column A and B is for retailer. So that should be one dimension table. Now, we also have this, and this. This should be another dimension table for location. Why this two is a dimension table? For what now? For retailer, this is going to be a dimension table for location. And beverage is also going to be its own dimension because this is a descriptive variable that is explaining every of the transaction that has happened based upon which beverage did they buy. Unfortunately, we don't have any other one that could be our primary key for beverage, but the right thing is to keep it in its own table. So that's how many table right now? Three tables we've identified: retailer table one, location table two, and beverage table three. And then we have all the other facts. So we're gonna go four different tables right now. Now watch how we go through everything step by step in Power BI. First thing is always to be able to look at the data and know how many tables you're going to have. And then identify what is going to be the different columns that would be in the table. What would be the primary key for each of these. And then, as we've always said, all of the primary keys are going to be in the fact table as foreign key. Now I'm going to bring in the data. It's a CSV. See everything step by step as slowly as possible. This is data modeling one I'm going to bring in right now. And when I bring it, we're going to Power Query Editor and we're going to make it into four different tables where we all are going to work together to create the data model. So now it's going to come in here exactly. So this is it now. I'm going to call this one fact sales. So this is going to be our fact table. I'm going to treat the fact table last. Last. So let me treat the dimension tables. Remember, we said we want to have four tables. So I'm just going to duplicate all of these things right now. Duplicate. So if you follow these steps like this, you should be fine. Number one, this is going to be, what did we call it the other time? Was it retailer? Yeah. This is going to be dimension for retailer. Now, click on this one. You can double click to rename. There are different ways you can do it. This is going to be dimension for location. My location is spelled wrongly. I've put a P there, sorry. So, and the other one, you can double click as well to do that. It's going to be dimension for brand. So these are the four dimensions. Sorry, three dimensions that's going to connect to the fact table to make it four different tables. So why don't we start treating all of the dimensions first, and then we're going to treat the other one last, which is the fact table. So I start with this one. I can start with any of the dimension. So first thing first for dimension, guys, we want to select columns. Always remember the step-by-step process. Select column, remove all of the columns, and because it is retailer, the only relevant one to retailer is their names and their ID. So I'm going to select only those ones. And then I'm going to remove duplicates. Remove duplicates. And I'm going to check if they are unique. As soon as I see that they are unique, it means that this retailer table is perfect, is correct. There is no problem at all with it. Excellent. Then I go to the next one. Straightforward, step by step. I come here to choose. I remove everything. And since it is location, region, state, city, all of these make up my location. Okay. And I'm going to say right now, okay. Now, when I've done that, so the one with the lowest granularity right now is city. But let me try to do something now. Let's remove duplicates as we always do. We remove duplicates. The sad thing here is that it should have been unique. Like this should be the same thing, 52 distinct or 50 distinct, 50 unique. Now, this is my problem. Immediately I see that this one I want to use as my primary key. My primary key is not unique. like not all of them, you can see 5250. This is where I know there's a problem because there's a repetition of either of New York or Houston. There's just something repeated here. That is why you can see 5250. So I already know that this will not work for me to map it to the city here. Whenever you have this kind of issue, guys, listen, whenever you have this kind of issue, guys, do this. Just do this. Come here. Say add column. Let me repeat this again. When you've identified what will be your primary key, guys, you've identified your primary key and you've done your deduplication like this one. Immediately you see that it is the same number of distinct, is the same number of unique. You are good to go. If, however, it is not the case, remember, I'm interested in the primary key right now, not necessarily this one, or because this is what I want to use as my primary key. Whenever I have this, I'm just going to come and create a new index column. So I'm going to come here and I'll rather create from one. So this now gives me unique, 54 distinct. So this is going to be my primary key. So I'm going to call this location key. So I can call this my location key because I just formed this one myself. So keep that one for now. Location key is fine. Come to brand. So for the brand, once again, I'm going to come here and then I'll choose and say choose and remove everything and keep only brand. So this is a funny one in that there is no other thing like brand anywhere. It's just this one. So I'm going to take only this one and remove every other thing. We always would need to remove duplicates. So we're going to remove our duplicates, okay? So let's remove duplicates. So I can remove duplicates right now. So because there's really no primary key, this might be funny. So let me just give it its own key. Add and come here and give it its own key. So I can call this is going to be brand key. Fine and good. So I'm done with all of the dimension tables. I'm just going to go this one now. Now, because you remember that there are two of these ones that we created our own key, which we call surrogate key. We need to bring the surrogate key into the fact table because that is what it will use to communicate. Always remember, whenever you've created your own new key using this index, there are sometimes you don't do it. Like this one, I didn't do it. So this is excellent. Whenever you get to do it, you must bring those your new keys into the fact table. Now look at the step to bring it to the fact table. Come to the fact table. Guys, come to the fact table and stay on this home tab and go to mesh queries and say mesh query. The first one I want to bring is location. So you're going to select, this is a fact table. Take note, this is a fact table. Now I'm going to select that I want to bring in location. So this is what I'm interested in bringing. So now when you want to merge, you can choose multiple column. I always like to choose multiple column so that everything will make lots of sense. So like say, region, state, city. You see in the right order, one, two, three. And if I come here, region, state, city. So it's going to map. And then this is what I'm looking out for. This is what I'm going to bring. Now just follow me. I only choose only the relevant column. Remember, from the fact table, only the relevant ones, the ones relevant to location is what I choose. It's like when you group, you can group by more than one columns. I think Mr. T is going to take us through all of this shortly in SQL and Python. So that is what I've just done. And I'm going to, this is what I need. This is what I need to bring to this table. Watch what I'm going to do right now. I've just selected this and I've selected, so it's going to map 1 to 1, 2 to 2, 3 to 3, and then I say, okay. Now it's going to create something here for me. Now in this one that it has created, I'll say, I don't need all these plenty things. All I need is location key. That's all I need. Location key is all I'm looking for. And then I'll say, okay. It's going to bring in only the location key for me. That's all. Now, let me rename this thing. Let me just remove the dimension and bring in only location key. And I like to change this thing because it's not supposed to be 1, 2, 3 because it's a unique identifier, ABC. So let me go to location as well. Do the same thing. This should be a unique identifier, ABC. Because we did the same thing for brand, we have brand key. I'm going to come to fact and do exact same thing by coming to merge queries, say merge queries, and then I'm going to say right now it is a brand I want to do. I want to do for the brand, and the this beverage brand is the only thing that is connected to this guy. Okay, only that column. And then I'll do the same thing. Okay, it's going to come here for me. And then I'm going to say, see, I don't need everything because I have this one. This is all I need. The key is what
Brand
I
key.
need. And then I will say, okay, for the key. Now I would like to change the name
That's
so that,
all.
sorry, can you mute yourself, please? And then I'm going to say only brand key. And then I can change this thing to ABC. Now I have all that I need. But remember, I've not removed lots of column from this fact table. So I can come to my fact table now and say choose column. And what should be in the fact table? The fact table should only have the IDs, only the IDs right now. So this is not the ID, this is not the ID, this is not the ID. Price, this one is a fact, this is fact, this is fact, this is fact, this is fact. This, you remember, this is the surrogate, the ID that we created, which is a primary key for location and is now foreign key in my fact table. This one was my primary key for brand and it's now foreign key in this place. But for this other one, retailer, I didn't have to create anything because when we dedupe, everything was excellent. And I'm just going to say, okay. And that's it. So when I'm done like this, I just come here, I say close and apply. I just say close and apply. And then let's see what happens to our model now. How our different stuffs are going to communicate. Now we have four tables from the original one table that we had. Four tables are what we have right now. So we want to see the relationship between these four tables and see exactly how they communicate with each other. So we can operate this thing appropriately. So let's allow this thing to do its job. Now, if I go to this model view and see for myself, so you can clearly see what has happened now. So you see automatically this whole thing recognizes retail ID recognizes what else again? Location key recognizes, but brand key did not recognize. So who can just tell me very quickly why the brand key did not work? Who can tell me why the brand key did not work? Somebody just try. Looking at the screen, what do you think? Now, the reason is very simple. You will
Hmm.
notice that this brand key here, I changed it to ABC. This brand key here, I didn't change it to ABC. This is still showing as numeric. That is why you have this sigma sign. This sigma sign always means that it is numeric. It is 1, 2, 3. So I basically need to go and change this one to 1 ABC, no longer 1, 2, 3. So if I come here now, if I go to my transform data, you will see what I'm just telling you right now about the different data types. I'm showing you all of these errors so that you understand everything happening. Look at this. This is, should not be 1, 2, 3 because it's a key. A key is not, you don't want to say 1 plus 1 when it's a key. It's like matriculation number. So this should be my ABC. And then I'm just going to close and apply. I'm just going to close and apply. And then when I close and apply, I'll be able to make it communicate. So that sign is gone right now. So I can bring this thing manually upon this thing. And it's going to say one to many, which is what we want to see. It's not many to many. Many to many is always our problem. And then we save this thing right now. And as soon as we save this thing, everything is connected. You can see that they all are on different table. Now I can do any work that you can see this, maybe total sales by retailer, even though they are from different tables. Look at the different tables. If you come here to this table view, you can view your table. This is one table for brand. This is another table only for location. This is another table only for retailer. This is another table. We had a very wide table. We've collapsed the table into all of these four. So this is what we call data modeling. So you can now come here and say, for example, you want to see this. And then you can choose your x-axis from different table. Watch me now. For the x-axis, I can choose from this table, brand, and I'll say beverage brand. Now, for the y, I can choose from a different table. I will say unit sold, and they all will communicate. These is four tables communicating in sync together. Why? Because they are linked based upon the primary key and the foreign key in the data model. So this is the right thing to do.